Good afternoon. The May 4th meeting of the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust will be in order. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April 20th meeting.
Move approval.
A motion and a second to approve the April 20th meeting minutes. Are there comments, questions, corrections, additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Item 3 is the consent docket. Number of items.
Second.
Are there matters to be considered individually?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to point out on item in your consent docket, item 3, item B3, approval of a contract for engineering services with Enercon Services for the parallel Atoka pipeline environmental study. This is an unusual contract for us. We're beginning the process of preparing to build a second pipeline between Lake Atoka and Lake Draper. We need an additional pipeline to be able to bring all the water rights that we have from Lake Atoka and Mickey Creek Reservoir to Oklahoma City. We also, for reliability purposes, plan to build a second line, given that the existing pipeline is 50 years old. This is the very front end of the project work. I wanted to just let you know that this particular work is primarily about environmental assessments that must be made now that 50 years ago were not required. So this team will be working on the historical preservation, archaeological preservation, and endangered species preservation, identifying critical environmental features, and again, those archaeological and historic features that require protection as well. It'll be interesting work, but something we don't do every day.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question on 3E1? I'm assuming that's part of what we're considering right now. And it's receiving a permit from the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality to construct a water main extension. Does every time we extend a water main, do we need a DEQ permit?
Yes, certain lines are permitted without requiring Aquat's specific approval under a general permit that we obtain every year, and others DEQ asks us to create a specific record of the permit being accepted by Aquat.
Now, on a new subdivision, residential subdivision, where the developer has the responsibility for installing the water lines initially, does he have to get a permit as well before he proceeds, or do we get the permit for him? How does that work?
Those, I believe, are handled by our general annual permit for lines of a certain size.
Does it cover anything besides water lines, for instance, sewage lines at all?
Water and sewer, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? Are there any questions on any of the other items on the consent docket? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent docket's approved. Next item is item 4.
Move approval of the item.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve item 4. Comments?
And this will be coordinated with the street construction out there as well, so.
Yes, sir, very much so. It's unusual for staff to bring the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust a concurrence item, but we believe in some cases it will be practical for the project to proceed with a concurrence approach where we're gaining water or sewer improvements without an expense to you, and want to make certain that those facilities are a part of the public record as being Aquat's facilities, yet it require no fiduciary action on your part. If you find that isn't working in the rare circumstances where this will happen, we'll look at something else.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second on item 4. Are there further questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 4 is approved. Item 5 is a series of reports, or it's actually a short series since it's only one report.
Move we receive the report.
Second.
Motion and a second to receive the report. Are there questions about it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Report's received. Next item is item 6. It's a request for proposals for professional services and a joint resolution adopting between us and the Oklahoma City Environmental Trust authorizing open market purchase for professional services.
Move approval of both items.
Second, but I have a question, Mr. Chairman. On the programs that we might consider, are we looking at anything that is designed to encourage or increase the amount of recycling we are experiencing right now?
Yes, sir, always.
Okay. So there'll be some kind of program in the upcoming year that will address that?
Yes.
Any other comments? All those in favor of item 6, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 6 is approved. Is there new business? Comments? Trustees, staff, citizens?
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, trustees, just one thing from the staff. We went live on your billing system with eCheck last week. It's a soft opening to see how it goes before we launch additional public information about eCheck, but it's working very well, and about 30% of the people who were paying with credit cards are paying by check.
I have a question. I have an automatic bank withdrawal for my water bill, and yet I continue to get an envelope to return a payment. And is there any way we can, address that issue?
We're working on an item to take forward to you in the future to look at revising the programs and such as a part of a renewal for KUBRA, and we're looking at streamlining the different options to make it simpler for a customer to choose which of those options they would have and to take out unnecessary paperwork in the documents like you talk.
Because I've already chosen an option. It's working fine, but it
Yes.
seemed like it was sort of a redundancy to get an envelope that
Right.
I couldn't even use someplace else. Thank you.
Further comments? Or adjourned? Thank you.